How's it going, everyone? It's Jeremy J, and I have a whiteboard which I know is mirrored because I have the phone facing me. But I'm going to be talking about 7 things that I hate, and even though the board is mirrored, I'm showing them to you. So I'm going to go over the 7 things that I hate, read each one of them, and then I'm going to break down why I hate each one. I'm going to talk about if I find myself doing the thing I hate. And if I find myself doing the thing I hate, I'm going to talk about how I'm going to correct it for the future. I actually believe by doing this, I'm going to be a better man because just by looking at these 7 things, there's things I do that are in conflict with something I hate. I'm actually doing the thing I hate. So number 1, lack of communication. Number 2, being led on. Number 3, ultimatums. Number 4, lack of empathy. Number 5, perpetual hypergamy or hypergamy. Number 6, lack of acceptance. Number 7, entitlement. So I'm going to talk about the first one, lack of communication. Lack of communication can include a lot of things. Not speaking your truth to someone, just stomping off. It could be ghosting someone. It could be breadcrumbing someone, meaning you just give snippets and pieces of information, or you slowly fade away. Slowly fading away is a lack of communication, because basically what you're doing is saying, I don't want to be with you, but I don't want to just tell you up front that. I want to kind of just slowly let it go so I can also not have to deal with completely disconnecting. I know in relationships this happens. And even if someone wants to break up with someone, they can't necessarily do that right away, because you build up an emotional attachment with someone. And so even though you want to leave, you breadcrumb and slowly fade away, and that lets you not have to deal with an instant disconnect and being alone. Not being willing to sit down and have dialogue. So there's lots of things here in lack of communication. And I don't like all of those things. However, I have to admit, part of me is a little jaded, and a lot of these are related to dating, but they also relate to family life, work life, and our friendships and interactions with people in general. But at this point, I find myself not communicating well sometimes. And I usually find myself not communicating well when someone is treating me poorly. I have a hard time communicating when that happens. I have a hard time communicating if I perceive that someone's treating me poorly. At this point, I kind of will just say best of luck to someone. Like, let's say I have a dating prospect and they do something that they may not even be, they may cancel a date or something, or whatever it is, and I immediately shift to see you later, good luck, without communicating what I think about it. And a lot of people would say, yeah, don't waste your time communicating. They don't deserve your communication or your time. Or like if someone cancels a date or does something disrespectful, just walk away, right? I've been hearing a lot of that, but I don't like when people just disappear from my life without telling me why or communicating. I feel like it's an opportunity to learn. So I feel like I have an opportunity here to be a teacher to the women I'm dating or have potentially going to go out with. And the reason I have lack of communication here is I had an experience with someone I met online. I didn't meet him, but I decided to dip my toe into online dating, not with the intent to have anything serious. I don't want anything serious right now, but I wanted to just dip my toe in it again. And someone I was going to meet up with canceled and said she had a change of plans like 5 hours before we were meeting. She's like, well, I have a change of plans with my teenage boys, and I hope we can reschedule. And that was all she said. I mean, it was a paragraph or so of text saying it. And she said, I hope we can reschedule. And when I read that, I read it as, well, if she didn't actually make an effort to to reschedule. Like saying I hope we can reschedule means to me I don't really feel like rescheduling, but I'm going to just say I hope. I hope is I don't want to do it, right? If you say I will reschedule, it means this is going to happen. I hope is not going to happen. That's how I read it, and it's possible that she was just a little busy and didn't really have a sense of when she could, and I don't believe that. My gut says no, that was just a flake. But regardless of either of those truths, whichever one is true, my reaction should not be, here's what I did. I said, we don't need to reschedule, all the best of luck to you. And that was it. And then I deleted her out of my match list. And yes, it's good to feel like I have high value and I'm a high value male that doesn't let people waste my time and that I don't accept bullshit from anyone. These things are very important. But independent of any video I've watched from anyone, internally I believe communication is a missing ingredient in humans, regardless of whatever red pill or blue pill or dating coach or feminism or guy says, whatever, all the different camps of people, whatever they say, this is a truth to me. Communication is valuable and important. And if I could go back in time and respond to this woman, since I've already sent the text that the ship has sailed, I would say, you saying I hope we can reschedule tells me that you don't really feel like rescheduling. At least that's how it makes me feel. That's what I perceive. And so if that's true, if you're just saying that, then I want to wish you all the best. But if you truly are wanting to reschedule, I'd appreciate it if you use this language. I want to reschedule and I'm going to find a day, or here's a day that I can do it instead, or here's a couple days I can do it instead. And because you didn't do that, to me, it looks like you're flaking. So if I could go back in time, I would respond this way to this woman, and I may not get a response to that. Like she may not have, if I had chosen to say all that, she still may not have responded, but I communicated. I said exactly what was right to say in response, and I was willing to speak my truth. Speaking my truth is important to me. And even if I speak my truth 1,000 times with no response, it's not the outcome that matters. It's me doing my part in communicating. So I learned that yesterday. And so that's one, lack of communication. Number two, being led on. So also in dating, sometimes you'll get someone that's showing you a lot of interest, whether you met them on an online app or in person, and they're kind of being very affectionate, and then they ditch and run for whatever reason. They're going through a divorce, there's another guy in the picture, etc., etc. Men and women do this. And I don't like that. I'd rather people be honest, like just say, hey, I'm lonely, I'm going through a divorce and I haven't had affection, and you know what, can we just like cuddle and have some affection without having to get to know each other real quick? Just speak the truth of what you want. Communication again. But I don't, and then just say I don't want anything for very long. I just need a quick short-term fling. Like just speak it's what you're doing, but you're not saying you're doing it. And so I think, have I led people on? Have I done things to lead people on? And I have led people on. I've matched with people in online dating or approached them in person and thought, you know what, I'm not really interested, but I'm gonna interact with this person anyways, and that person starts to like me and get attached. Instead of me very upfront in the beginning saying, hey, I don't really see us being anything, or speaking the truth as tactfully as I can, and saying, but I think you're kind of interesting, but I don't feel like there's anything more than a friendship, saying that immediately, like instantly, versus having a talk, going out once and still interacting, and then them thinking something's happening. So I've done that before. So my correction, my course correction is to always be truthful immediately with people in what I'm thinking, to say exactly what I'm thinking and what my intentions are, to say what I'm thinking and what my intentions are. This will correct this, and I will be the change I wish to see. Number 3, ultimatums. This kind of ties in with lack of communication, but I've had people in my past just cut cord and run and not be willing to talk about something. And I've also done the same, not being willing to talk. Like my last relationship I was in, I wasn't willing to talk to her. She actually was wanting to talk, and I believe she was just going to say, I'm not interested anymore, or something akin to that. And instead of going through that hard conversation with her, I just said, no, we don't need to talk, all the best. And I just left without giving her a chance to speak. And I realized that was wrong. That was me running in fear, is what that was. Me being unwilling to have a hard conversation and potentially facing that someone's not interested anymore. And I'm not going to do that anymore. If someone is willing to dialogue with me, whatever they're going to say, and it's someone I care about or have history with, I'm going to dialogue. I'm going to talk, or at least say, yeah, I'm here to talk, and not just cut cord and run. I'm going to make a conscious, even if I'm afraid, I'm not going to act like an ultimatum anymore, because I don't like when people do that to me. I want to feel like I have a voice. Okay, number 4, lack of empathy. Empathy is missing in today's world. People are very inwardly focused on, what am I getting? What am I getting? What am I getting? What am I getting in the dating world? What are you going to give me? What's your status? What's your money? What's your looks? What's your physique? What's your intelligence? What are you going to give me? What do I get? What do I get? What do I get? And it creates a lack of empathy for people. I was dancing 2 nights ago when I went to the Westerner. I was dancing for 4 hours, and I danced with a gal, and I was doing some lifts where I lift her off the ground, and I'm not very good at lifts. I haven't done them very much. And so I'm lifting her, and it's going kind of slow, probably slower than she's used to with men who are expert dancers. And she's saying, come on, man, you got to build momentum, and just being very short and terse with me, or short and, I don't know if curse is the right word, but just short and a little frustrated with me. And I don't remember, I don't think I said anything, and I finished the dance with her, and that was it. I felt like the energy was a little off, so I didn't dance with her again. But if I could go back in time and talk to her, I would, after the dance, I would say, hey, during the dance you were saying, come on, man, get some momentum. And I agree, like, to do lifts and stuff properly, you've got to generate momentum. But hey, like, I haven't done these, I'm just out trying them. And the way you were saying that, like your tonality and how short you were, it was almost like you were just expecting me to know how to do them without any thought about me, my bodily condition, or anything like that. And I felt like you had a lack of empathy toward me, and it was a turnoff. And that also goes to communication. So I would have said that. And I believe this is going to be hard to do, because there's probably going to be lots of times I have to communicate. Lots of times someone says or does something and I'm going to need to communicate. I may go out into the real world and realize, geez, like, I have to spend an extra couple hours a day now on these things I hate to become the change I wish to see, with all the things that happen to me or that I see. But that's okay. So that's lack of empathy. 5, perpetual hypergamy. Hypergamy is the continued desire to find better and better in your life. We humans kind of seem wired to do it, women and men, but it seems like women a little more than men, to just find the best deal, the best provider, protector out there for us. And for men, we want the most amazing woman we can get as well. And it's not just in relationships, like money and accumulation of things and personal growth and development. There's almost a pressure to keep evolving as a human. So perpetual hypergamy kind of just discards people, that if they're not this perfect match to what we have. Even if you've been with them for a while, they're just discarded. And I don't think that's right. I think if you do communication and you have conversations and make an effort first instead of just jumping ship, I think that's important. And this is actually one I've been doing really good on. So I don't feel like I'm doing this. I'm not with women I see, I don't immediately say, well, nah, I can do better than you, see you later. If a woman is nice to me, treats me well, and has a lot of the things I like, then you get a place in my life. It doesn't mean I'm going to date you, but you get a place in my life, and I'm not going to just ditch you, even if I think I can do better. So I value people that treat me well, that encourage me, that uplift me. And again, just because you're doing that, it doesn't mean I like you or romantically like you or want to date you, but it means you have a place in my life at the very least. So I feel like I'm doing this, and it also ties into not being led on, which is number 2. Saying to a person, here's how I see you in my life. Here's what I want. Right now in my dating life, I don't want anything serious. I don't want anything serious with anyone. I'm not interested in pursuing a relationship, but I value high quality interactions. I value high quality people who encourage me, definitely. Number 6, lack of acceptance. So I hate this one, and I felt like in my last relationship there was a lot of lack of acceptance. I felt like I was belittled for not being Mr. Clean, super clean on things, and that was the biggest thing I didn't feel accepted for. My condo's not like this dirty pigsty or anything. Like, it's just a condo. Like, there's not trash everywhere. Do I have the kitchen counters completely cleaned up and spick and span all the time? No. But I felt like she kind of turned into a ghoul, constantly nagging and complaining and on me, and without communicating very well, and without accepting. But that was the major thing, not accepting. And I was starting to like clean better, but that clearly wasn't enough. So accept people as they are. If you're going to be with someone, don't try and change them how they are. Accept them. There's always going to be things about someone you're with relationships aren't perfect. They're never going to be perfect, but they can be really good if there's encouragement and acceptance of each other, and being able to speak your truth and say, you know what? Like if my last girlfriend would have said to me, hey, you're not as clean as I would like, but I saw that you did this. I saw that you put up these shelves in your bathroom sink. In fact, I'm going to go take you to what I did. Actually, I did this post her because it was a good idea. She had to put up some shelves in my bathroom. So I have these shelves on my bathroom counter. See how clear my counter is? And I put all my supplements and things that used to litter the counter here. And it was a good idea. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I love it now. So it's like I'm teachable. But gosh, I'm not going to be Mr. Clean. I hate cleaning. I'm not going to have everything spick and span all the time. I just hate that stuff. And yeah, I can hire a house cleaner, but my money is valuable to me. And to me, it's like if I keep things reasonably clean myself, why the hell? And I've got a robot that cleans the floors, and my daughters come over and we do our house cleaning chores and mopping. I'm not going to pay someone to do that. All right, let me go back to my list. Kind of doing a little tour of the house while I'm doing this list. So that's lack of acceptance. And even the gal I danced with last night, who was getting annoyed that I wasn't doing these miraculous lifts that a dancer of 10 years can do. It's like I was trying. Like show some encouragement for someone who's trying and failing. I'm not doing it as well. I'd rather see the glass half full, and I should have done my part to communicate that. because she couldn't read my mind. Number 7, entitlement. I deserve this, I deserve this. So this is a tough one, because I believe we get out of life what we put our effort into, and there's some luck involved, of course. Like, I bought some Tesla stock a few years ago. That was a really good purchase. I plan to hold it for a little while longer, probably another few years at least, until I hope the company becomes $1 trillion market cap. And if it does, then I'm going to sell, and I will be able to use that money to buy a Tesla. That's awesome to me. But I took the risk, and therefore it happened. Entitlement is thinking, just because I'm me, just because I look a certain way, I deserve this, this, and this. And I don't believe that. We get out of life what we put into it. And so I feel like I'm doing pretty good on this. I work hard on my job. I go out and I try new things. I experiment. I talk to people. So I'm putting myself out there in life. And this is a great retrospective that I've done here. And it'd be an interesting thing for you to do if you feel so inclined, if you feel the desire. If not, that's totally fine too. But it's been a very eye-opening exercise for me that I'm doing some of the things I hate, and therefore I need to be the change I wish to see. And that means I'm going to have to put in some extra effort. I'm going to have to put in extra effort. And I believe some of the experiences that have happened to me recently were to help guide me to this, to make some of these changes. And I think by doing these, I'm going to further become more unique and a higher value man, in my eyes, because I'm doing more of the things that I think the world is missing. And that's the most important thing, is to be high value in your own eyes before anyone else sees you. All right. So there you go. Am I doing the things that I hate? ? That's the title of this video. Namaste. See you in the next video.